pepper and a red bell pepper. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm?
I'd rather face the truth. You can either live in denial or face the truth. I'd rather face the truth, and the truth here is you can't unsee what's happened to people. I describe it as the My Time movement. What do I mean by that? Toxic and entitled people in your personal and even professional life are now saying it's my time now. What does that mean? It's my time. It's all about me. I'm putting me first. And this has been a very strange movement that's happened thanks to bullshit modern therapy and bullshit motivational quotes and content. It's all been packaged together to inflate the ego of these absolutely selfish, entitled idiots to think that not only were they taking enough to begin with, but they should take even more. And they'll use buzzwords like "you're gaslighting me," or "you are the narcissist," or "you're toxic," or, "don't toxic shame me," all this shit. It's my time now, meaning that I'm going to cheat, meaning that I'm going to take money, meaning I don't care what happens to you. It's about me. It was already like that before, but it's got even more. And that's because of this movement where people are actually looking at others and observing others, toxic people especially, saying, well, if he's allowed to cheat, I'm going to cheat on my partner as well. Well, if they've stolen money, I'm going to scam my family. But if this has happened at that workplace, I'm going to do it. Everyone's an NPC. Everyone's just a clone, just copying one another. And there you are. There you are, going through a bitter, ugly divorce, working for a boss who's just so selfish, trying to survive with family members who just all make it about themselves. And in a small slither of social time and life that you have, you spend it with a friend who never picks up the bill, never travels to you, and you're constantly chasing them. If you're not sure whether to stay or walk away in any of these toxic situations or relationships, let me help you. I've created a free checklist which will ask you brutal questions, and if you answer honestly, it will guide you the right way, and it's totally free. The link's in the description and pinned comment down below. Download it now. So that's the thing. It's not about the government. It's not about this. It plays a factor, sure. It's about your world, your environment. It's what I've been saying for years. Ever since I started on YouTube, I've been saying that narcissism is on a meteoric, dangerous rise. And every year that goes by, I was proved right. But again, I don't give a shit about celebrities. I don't care about the media. I care about you, and I care about your environment.
Hey, J4K, 3RBLXMC. I'm selling a cucumber and a red bell pepper. Thanks for the like. J4. That's what I'll call you, J4. What's up with you? Uh-oh. Hey, Slight Swissing. How are you? I clicked more, and then all of a sudden my live stream closed out, and so I just resumed it. I was trying to put. I don't see the option. That's weird. I don't see a sticker. Hey, Esteban. Yes, I do remember you. Haha. You were watching in Crystal Defenders. Hey, Robert Brown. How are you, Robert Brown? What are you guys up to today? For some reason, I can't put on a poll. That's weird. I'm putting the lighting on and off. It is delicious, J4. Yeah, it is. I'm okay. I'm hungry, so I'm eating. Go ahead, Robert Brown. I don't know why I can't post a sticker. It's weird. Aw, that's a cute little bug. You're allergic to bell peppers? Oh, it's a sad little buggy. Mm. Are you
I just came in from Paris.
are you allergic to paprika too? Thanks for the likes, guys.
I don't speak French. Do you speak English? Anybody here speak French? French? Oui. Oui, French, yes. From when you bang up in your boudoir and then bonjour. 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 Holla. Listen, I'm missing a bag. Can you tell I'm missing a bag? It contains my very important papers, which I need for a meeting later on today. Yes, oui. The man say he no lay fine, he's lay back. And he lay say he have a lay meeting. I'm sorry, hold on. That's not French. Yes, French. Touché. Touché. Holla.
Anyway, did you sleep good last night? No, I don't usually sleep good, but that's the new usual right now. You're allergic to shrimp and crab? Oh, I was watching a Mad TV thing from back in the day. Probably when I was sleeping, I don't know. There you go. You're welcome. That was weird. Huh. What did you miss, Robert? Oh, the fart. You're funny. Here you go. So, J4, are you allergic to shrimp and crab and bell peppers? But I'm curious about paprika, because paprika isn't that dried out red bell pepper? Mm. Mm. Mm, 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 mm.
As you can see, I'm still okay because I'm eating more calories. I'm happy because I'm energetic. That's changed for the gym.
Thanks.
I now invite the honor god to lay a wreath in their memory. Mark Carney's Liberals are determined to ramrod Bill C-9 through, despite hundreds of thousands of postcards being sent to the Senate, tens of thousands of phone calls, and more emails being made and sent to members of Parliament.
I'm vegetarian. Who's your cousin?
They've been insisting all the way through that they can be trusted not to violate the rights of Christians and other religious groups in the country. And it became crystal clear this month, once again, that Mark Carney and his Liberals cannot be trusted with the religious.
His name is the Canadian bro? I don't remember him. Who's Eric? Oh, Eric. Oh, okay. I don't know, Robert. From Manitoba. Nice. You gonna play football?
Freedom of Canadians. Let me explain. So on June 9, Prime Minister Mark Carney
Bye, J4. Have fun.
raised the LGBT pride flag over occupied territory, that is, Parliament Hill. The media and some politicians now describe this ceremony as an annual tradition. And this characterization is very revelatory. So this tradition is merely a decade old. That's how long it takes to create a new tradition in Canada. And this, of course, means that those who don't like this tradition are creating a backlash and are attacking norms. It's very cleverly characterized. The first flag.
Yeah. I am.
Raising was held in 2016. I pulled the CBC article up at the time, and they described it as a historic first. Quote, Minister Justin Trudeau raised a pride flag on Parliament Hill today for the first time in the country's history. So something that was done for the first time in the country's history in 2016 is now a untouchable tradition that Canadians must rally around or be considered bigoted. This is really key to understand, because Justin Trudeau moved the LGBT agenda to the center not only of his government, and Carney is basically in some ways an extension of Justin Trudeau's government. He was a key advisor to Trudeau during this period, but also to the center of Canada's identity, constantly referencing it.
What do you like about farts? Just because they're funny or something?
In speeches, both foreign and domestic.
Trudeau, you might remember, also began the tradition of prime ministers marching in these very obscene public displays known as Pride Parade. And now this too is a tradition, which is why you have central banker Mark Carney last year at Vancouver Pride being hugged by a greasy, almost naked man wearing only a thong. Because now Canada's most powerful people have to genuflect before the...
Hey, Gojo fan 4216, how are you? How are you doing?
LGBT movement. I'm sure Carney was very uncomfortable in that moment. I'm not even sure he likes doing things like marching in pride parades, but what's he supposed to do? This is a Canadian tradition. And as Prime Minister, he is called to uphold Canada's traditions. So when Carney gave his speech to the gathered politicians and activists at the flag raising, he basically was declaring, and this is important to understand, that his government has picked a side between the LGBT movement and those who oppose the LGBT agenda. He didn't name the opponents of that agenda explicitly, but he's referring to Canadian parents speaking out against extremist sex education in schools, which is why that parental rights movement was cited in CSIS reports as potential threats, the journalists who are exposing gender-affirming care, including at the National Post, and the handful of politicians who are willing to speak on behalf of those Canadians. And so here is just a clip of what he said on Parliament Hill while he was raising the flag, and this will give you an idea of what the Liberals mean when they're talking about the LGBT agenda,
hey,
and why this means that they cannot be trusted on issues like Bill C-9.
Are you listening? How are you doing today? Me? Farts are just kind of a thing of life. If I had the choice of not farting, I guess I probably would choose not to. That's kind of a funny question.
Our country, the flag is a mosaic. We're all different. We all have our distinctions. We're all Canadian. And one of our strengths of Canada is recognizing the people can be who they want to be. They can love whom they want to love. They can live where they want to live. The federal government, on whose seat we are the defender of those rights. We are the defender of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. When we stand up for all the rights of all our fellow Canadians, we strengthen our own. In a time where, unfortunately, around the world, there's a backlash struggling against the progress that has been made. In this time, Canada will always stand up for the vulnerable and for the equal rights that we cherish. Yes, we can take pride in how far we've come, but we should also recognize that there is much more to do.
So translating what he means there is important.
Would you live bald forever for $5 million? Sung Jinyu? Yeah, I think I would. Just shave my head. For $500 million? Yeah, why not? But tell me though, what would be the downside? Nair One Tour, hi. How are you? How are you doing? Thanks for the likes.
There's a backlash. What is that backlash? It's the parents who don't want their kids to see pornographic content or extremist sex education in schools. It's the parents who are protesting policies of socially transitioning their children in schools without their knowledge. It's all of those who don't like all...
Boris Lavrazaz, 2171. If you have 2 days to live, what would you do for the days? That's a really great question. I have no idea. Probably eat food. I'm eating a red bell pepper, and earlier I had a cucumber. Thanks, Hello He 190. That's true. That's nice, thank you.
The changes being forced top down on the country by ideologues that they disagree with. Those are a backlash. But I think one of the key lines in Carney's speech on Parliament Hill after raising the pride flag over the seat of government, as he himself said, is we can take pride in how far...
Okay, well, Gamers Hub S93 has what he would do in those 2 days. I'm trying to see if that's an S or a 5. I think it's a 5. 593. Yeah, I don't know.
We've come, but we should recognize there's far more to do. We should recognize that there's far more to do. Line is Mark Carney saying the quiet part out loud. Marriage was redefined on behalf of the LGBT movement decades in 2005. LGBT curriculum is now
Heyo.
mandatory in the public school system. Dissidents
Of
from
course.
LGBT ideology, think of BC nurse Amy Ham or former public school trustee Barry Neufeld, are met with persecution and even prosecution intended to bankrupt them. The LGBT movement receives a fortune in taxpayer dollars every single year. The LGBT revolution was funded in large part by Canadian taxpayers, including those who disagreed with the aims of that revolution to begin with, and Carney announced even more funding at that flag raising. So what does Carney mean when he says there is far more to do? For years, the LGBT movement claimed that the redefinition of marriage was the end goal of their movement, but now it's become very, very clear to anybody who is watching,
Anyway.
especially to those caught up in all of this, that the redefinition of marriage back in 2005 wasn't the conclusion of a movement, it was actually just the start. If you had said in Parliament during the debates on same-sex marriage in 2005 that one day the LGBT movement would be pushing for sex changes for children, they would have called you a bigot, and they might even have meant it. And yet here we are. Here we are. So what does Carney mean when he says there's far more to do? I think he's talking about legislation like Bill C-9. Because what Carney is calling a backlash to the LGBT agenda is actually ordinary people complaining about the massive changes that have been imposed on Canada over the past couple of decades. Changes that have transformed their schools, the schools that their children attend, and resulted in the banner of an ideology they disagree with flapping from flagpoles from small towns to large cities. In Canada, the LGBT movement has conquered, but many people disagree. That is a backlash. And so there is still, according to Mark Carney, far more to do. Again, just think about it. This country is so conquered that the Prime Minister raises the pride flag on Parliament Hill. There are flags across the country. There were small towns that had rulings against them by human rights tribunals for refusing to fly the pride flag when they didn't even have a flagpole. That is how completely and totally the LGBT movement has won. And yet, in spite of all of that, there is somehow still far more to do. So Bill C-9 passed the Senate on June 4 by a vote of 45 to 13, and the sole amendment adopted to Bill C-9, which has received an unprecedented amount of backlash from both civil society and libertarian organizations, as well as every imaginable religious group, the sole amendment adopted was adding the hangman's noose to a list of prohibited hate symbols alongside Nazi symbols, on the premise that the hangman's noose is used to convey racist sentiments. It's worth noting here that, again, this is the kind of Canadian virtue signaling that Canadian progressives like to do. They desperately wish our history was more racist and more vicious, desperately wish it was more like American history in many ways, because there is not a single recorded instance of a black person being lynched in all of Canadian history, but that's got to be included anyways. The concerns of this huge coalition of religious Canadians was completely ignored. They protested the removal of a good faith defense for the good faith religious defense, for hate crimes. And the Human Rights Committee actually narrowly defeated Senator Yona Martin's proposed amendment to reinstate it. So there was a senator that tried to reinstate the good faith religious defense, which basically says if you're reading out of the Bible, which by the way is the specific example.
Okay. Alex U7P9V. Hello. How are you? You can send a joke, but I'm heading out soon. I'll come back on later for another red. I'll probably have another cucumber in a little while. I'll do another cucumber stream. Maybe I won't have a red bell pepper yet. I'll have that in the evening. Oh, it's already 5:26. This is 7. Wait, what time is it? That clock is wrong. It's 5:13 already. I still have stuff I need to do. Oi. Okay. Why did Dad left kid? I don't know, Robert Brown. You have to check the stream. I probably do. Easton 03E1N. Alex, are you gonna say the answer to the joke? I don't know. Why did Dad leave kid? I'm okay, Easton. Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm just gonna head off and get ready. And yeah, I guess I am. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm doing a cucumber stream later. I'll be munching on it. Probably pretty soon, maybe in an hour or so, I'm not sure. So thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Most of all, thank you for commenting because it gives me something to work with. So yeah, thanks for joining. Talk to you in the next stream. Bye.